welcome to another episode of Cooking with Auntie Sonia. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, on this Labor Day, I've already cooked. You can see the kitchen is pretty busy on the stove over there, big old pots cooking. I'm going to make some crab cakes and some salmon cakes. And I will be using a couple of different ingredients than when you go online and you see all the different ingredients. I'll be using some breadcrumbs and some crumbled cornbread that I made previously, my onions, my peppers, my sour cream, mayonnaise, and I bought some canned crab meat. Now you can purchase your crab meats, the lumpy one. I just ended up getting the fancy white crab meat. I don't eat crab, but my friends do, and my sister and my niece does, and I eat salmon, so I'm going to make myself some salmon cakes. So let's begin. I have my 1 cup of cornbread, and I'll pour that in. As you can see, I already previously crumbled it. And I have my 1 cup of breadcrumbs, and I'll blend those two together. And I'll go ahead and use my hand in here to get it nice and crumbly, just to get a nice mixture of both of them. And what I'll do is I'll add my onions. I'll add my peppers. And that is 1/2 cup of onions and a 2/3 cup of peppers. And I blended the peppers just to give it some pretty colors. As you can see, I put red and orange instead of the boring green peppers. So as you can see, that mixture that I'm getting, I have my parsley. I'm using dried parsley, and I'm using 1 cup of dried parsley, because if I were using fresh, it would probably be just about the same, but because it's dry, it's a little different. I have cayenne pepper because my folks like it spicy. So I'm putting in a little bit of cayenne pepper, which is a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Actually, it's less than a teaspoon. It's a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And I'm just going to go ahead and just blend it all in. Blend it all in. If you see what we're getting there, that mixture is blending nicely. It calls for Old Bay seasoning, but I went ahead and made my own Cajun seasoning, which is typically what Old Bay is. And I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon, a 1/2 tablespoon of that in there. See that rich color that it gives it? Go ahead and blend that in. And then minced garlic, I'm using 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. And then it calls for 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And I put all of these prior to putting in my crab meat and my beaten eggs. Getting a little mess on the table, I'll clean that up. So now I'm gonna put in I bought 2 cans of, that says 6 ounces of crab meat. And I'm gonna put it right in there. And I'll use my hands for right now. And I'm gonna blend it all in. Just blend it in, get a nice mixture. As you can see, it's all coming together. Just blending it in. And then now, I'll add my eggs. And you know, the eggs are what we use to hold it together. So that's 2 large eggs beaten. And then I'll add my 3 tablespoons of mayonnaise. You're gonna have to get your hands messy with this bad boy here. And 1 tablespoon of sour cream. So we get it all in there. And we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna mix it all together. And it should start coming together nicely. see. Should be able to pick it up and make like a nice little patty with it. See that? And then we're gonna fry it. But before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and blend up the salmon just like we did this, so you can see that as well. And then we're gonna fry them. So I'm gonna let my crab cake mixture sit just for a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and work on our salmon. We're getting ready to work on our salmon. What I did was I purchased a can of pink salmon, and I have, if you could look closely, you'll see my cornbread blended with my breadcrumbs, and I'm gonna pour that in, and you'll see the difference once they fall into the pot. And I'm just gonna blend it, just a nice blend. And I'll go ahead and crumble out some of the thicker pieces of the cornbread. This is a cornbread that I made earlier, Krusty's cornbread mix. Instead of the regular Jiffy cornbread, I did a Krusty's cornbread. And I'll add my salt to taste, which is a half a teaspoon of salt. Don't want too much salt in there because the salmon already has salt. I'm adding my 1 cup of onions. And these onions for the salmon are a little bit thicker than the ones that I used for the crab cakes, because you want to get that. Salmon pieces are a little bit thicker than the crab cake pieces. I have my red and orange peppers, same amount as I used before with the crab cakes. Have that chopped. I have my Cajun season, Auntie Sonia's Spice World, my own Cajun seasoning, and that's a tablespoon full right there, because I want that kick in mine. And for the cayenne pepper, I went ahead and used 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And again, just gonna blend it all in, get all those flavors mixed on up in there. Get my parsley, get it mixed in there as well. My garlic, get that mixed in there. And then my sour cream, which is 1 tablespoon of sour cream. Get that mixed in there as well. And I'll go ahead and put my mayo in there. And my oil. As you see, this is just a get it in there, blend it up. And my pre-mixed 2 eggs. And what I'll do now is I'll go ahead and mix it in. And with this one, I'm putting my salmon in last, not for any particular reason, but I want to get all of this blended first, and then add my chunky pieces of salmon. See that lovely salmon? Oh, I can just taste it already. And I'm going to blend it all in. Nice and mixed in. As you can see, those salmon pieces right in there. See that? And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fry these up. Make little cake, little ball shapes, just like this. Get it? I'm gonna heat my skillet to 350 degrees. For us Jamaicans, you know, it looks like a little dumpling. Get that there. And once the oil is hot at 350, I'll put it in there and we'll fry them up, and we're gonna tear them up. So I want you to try these at home Remember, just work with what you have because it's you that's having it. And then as you practice and you get a little better, then you can invite folks over to try them. But I go ahead and invite folks over to try them before I even practice. But I just made a different blend of the recipes that they have out there so that I can get my salmon cake on. Alrighty. My skillet is at 350 and my oil is nice and hot, and I'll place my crab cake in there. Notice that I made nice little patties. Those are my crab cakes. What I'll do is I'll let it fry for 2 minutes on one side, and then I'll turn it over on the other side for another 2 minutes and let it cook through. The crab is already cooked, and the peppers and the onions, they just need to get a little cooked. So we'll fry it on for 2 minutes on one side, and flip it over and fry it for another 2 minutes. So you have that nice golden brown. About 2 minutes on that side, so it's nice and golden brown, and you let it fry for another 2 minutes. So our salmon cakes are, actually these are the crab cake ones. Those are done. I'm removing them from the oil and just placing them on a napkin so that they can go ahead and the oil can soak out. And then I'm gonna put in my salmon cakes. I'm going to let those fry for 2 minutes on each side, just like I did with the crab cakes. And flip them over and go ahead and let them cook again. So let's go ahead and break into our crab cake. As you can see, that nice, juicy, moist right there. Ready to be served. Now I'll let you see once the salmon cakes are done how delicious they will look. Here we have our salmon patties getting ready to come out the oil. See that beautiful, beautiful, nice. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to let them drain. And what I have here is just a little Auntie Sonia creation, which is my spicy rum sauce. And what I will do, let me get a knife here, with our crab cake that was previously made. Go ahead and cut it right there. And we're going to go ahead and just drizzle on a little bit of that rum sauce. A little bit of that rum sauce, a little love. Give it a little spicy love. And I have my camera person go ahead and taste and tell me about the goodness of it. So thank you once again for joining us here at Cooking with Auntie Sonia. Please like, subscribe, and share the videos. And I'll put the recipe that I use down below so that you can have it for future use. Thank you. Love you.